Yeah, today na Tuesday 12. Do an live video na Moja. Some people they work on Romo say shooting them Moliko na live. Na my 17 dey so. Military, gendarme, police, all them dey for una security. Moja today outside. Yeah, my grandfriend to Colonel Senge for 29B. Me too hold and tight for that side. It means say no. All man day we dey at alert, so una security be guarantee. I dey very happy na my 17 so all man wey don hear information say shooting dey for left for right for Guyana line una comot there. We need more information for una inshallah for one and indivisible Cameroon. And we beg una say the whole flag sport we country indomitable lions wey don play for north.
Mami kang ano live ko Mami kang ano live ko
Today, the 17th of September 2022, 2023, me and Focus are the send information for all the civilians, all the civilians as a whole. May they leave this Lobby estate. We, the expendable family, will not go kill any nonsense. So, this one I can do today, not just a sample. Me and Focus, we need to talk, we not do them. And we, the expendable family, will they have to protect the civilians. May any civilians where in life, may it leave this camp. From today, Sunday, that talk, the 17th, I give the ending of this month, this September, may they leave this camp. This camp, I don't want my umbara, me and this military. I don't say, Pamono, go on, talk. Yes, so I beg all my people, all the people that from Amba General land, when I respect this order. Any man of the estates, may respect the order, we feel much focus down. I've done no top plenty. Thank you very much. Anybody like, may might not like to like. Next day, we will see next time.
Expendable
100.
Expendable
100.
The one Colonel Isere under General Baron. Na then way they be go surrender for Munimba. All my face. Na then this way they be go surrender for Munimba. General Baron do wrongo Nigeria. So the ghost town with APSC they be put them. When a Grand Zero be join hand put the ghost town. Now they work this way expendable 100 under Fimasha Focus. They don't work them. The work now work for Colonel Ramesh alias aka Point and Key. Now I work this way they work them today the 12th of September 2023. It is sending thing out. May all the ex-Amba them, where they don't resign, may they see them, say na so they go to die one by one.
If La Republic no kill them.
If La Republic no kill them, Amba go come after them.
Yes.
We no get plenty for talk.
Yes.
We just tell our civilian them, where they tell them
ghost town.
Ghost town no day,
May
they maintain this ghost town. Because we they out, now for look this ghost town. Any man we no respect the ghost town, he go the same like this man.
Today is the number 9 months, Thursday, 14. We, the Ribbons family, we don't come out outside. We won't talk say, no, for Pamo. Now Johnny Mad Dog, they talk under FM Millipit, the living ghost. We don't hear say, Pamo, they want challenge we. We don't come on now. We talk say, no. Any man wey the stable of a estate, this message where I send him today, na the last message where I go send him. Anything where any man see him, of a estate, both civil and the military where the devil dey, they take us in the Siam. We will not pledge our blood our life for this revolution. Nation civilian, not take it for granted. Now, as I talk, we would come. Anything any man see him, they take him. Any man where they will have an estate, they no say, from today no go ever go Kumba. They pass water. They no go ever go Kumba. For that road,
Even Desmond get to die. Desmond mark am very well. They get to kill Desmond. Kunkumaisi. Desmond. Now, you watch my live broadcast, and I tell you the truth. Their next plan is to bring out Desmond. Go wait. Desmond are the only baron be picking where he get that mind, he get that population, he get that kind of level where they know say he be a threat to expendable one to take over focus. Focus they call you say pa, the lie. That name say pa will deceive you. I want to tell you, their map will be dragged them very well. That way, people don't make the ground, do kind of atrocities, they do kind of things, they do it. They look for a means to wipe it out. As they wipe it out, focus do it. The real man will be the real automatic, original free marshal from Dian, where expendable 100 na focus. I be tell you now. So now I feel categorically tell me now, say so before I want to talk something, I get first class information. I need to talk anyhow. 10 kobo don't losses. Upon all the noise we make out, now maybe 10 kobo. What's that 10 kobo today? I be advised 10 kobo. I say Zegelovet. The best thing you can do is to surrender. You will lose your life. Because I be get it, I did for that WhatsApp, I did for all the information, I be know all their plans. So now they think that way, they for that 10 kobo day. 10 kobo no day again. Now they don't come originally can't talk so waiting. They tell you that don't say waiting. Before you were there for that bush, but tell your petit frère, come on for that shang. I'm not stupid. Now say no, I no pass you. I no pass you. Now they game that. They are real game now focus because focus now Momo Pikin. Batibo. Focus now Batibo Pikin. Not be Southwestern. That is why the killing for Jan over be drastical and very bad. They don't get conscious because wait, the people down there, they are not their relative. Where's the 10 kobo today? Today, focus not on what happened for 10 kobo. It hide them. Even 10 kobo might be the core focus. You want to talk with 10 kobo. 10 kobo don't go wash. 10 kobo don't go chop. 10 kobo don't go do so. The woman, the same thing, the foolish girl for the can't day. The only business to focus on selling small 10 francs for the full 10 kobo. Don't know the scenes. So where is the 10 kobo? For that focus, can't take free marshal. Where 10 kobo day? Because 10 kobo was a free marshal for expendable 100. Now he create them. Okay, now for that 10 kobo day, what will happen for 10 kobo? Una tell me, I want to see 10 kobo. I want to see alive, may make a video alive, may challenge me make a video. Even no people said day, I tell una say petit frère, upon all the sacrifices that they make up, now no go. And I see all na Southwest na them, on the program. For Jan, na plan the one after the other. My tell una, they get for move, they read the next man, Johnny Maddock, and they are Desmond. You are the next person to go down. Now, Amba go kill you, not be na me, not be na any person. I tell you the truth. I like you plenty, Desmond. I want to tell you the truth. I like you plenty. You are a very nice man. That's the simple truth. But you want to carry dirty character. Desmond, I will put the message for you properly. You are son of the soil for Bekura. If the Bekura spoil today, they will ask you question tomorrow. Tomorrow, you go want to follow politics. Tomorrow, you want to be somebody inside Bekura. They will ask you a question, Desmond. Where were you when focus and the gas no rest to be the key of Papa their mommy there for village? Wait will be a duty. They will ask you that question, Desmond. And if you not be very, you know, will stay, you will go down. I don't tell you, sir. The best you can do, forget about this. See, Desmond, you have a lot to do. If you surrender today, you go help Bekura people them plenty. Look, Bekura. This why focus no go be Amba for a village. They don't born Batibo and they born that village for Bekura. Then focus in village no get Amba step. Focus today. When he bat, he go for a village. Go live normal life. He never commit no crime today. He never hurt no man. But remember that people there for ground. If you go to Europe, Desmond, you go come back to Bekura because that is your route. When you go now for site, you go come back to Bekura because that is your route. If you don't come to Bekura, you are picking them, you go come for Bekura tomorrow. Chucky, Don't plus. Oh, nah. They get plan for move. Oh, nah, for game. Even you don't plus now you go buy weapon, you bring them. You go buy material. Now even the highest man, I tell you the map we did have for your head. You go Nigeria, they go set you up. They want to do it. They want to find some person where you go lay that trust where you go show you the road for Bible at them. After they don't finish showing the road all, you don't give your customer them. They will set you up for Nigeria. Your story will be now end of your story. That is your map for you. Don't lose. Yeah, fine. Mark them, write them somewhere. If you can insult me, no problem. You can also call me. I got a number. Yeah, fine. Their map for you, don't lose. Their own say waiting. They go set you up for Nigeria. They go catch you, arrest you. That is end of your story. Now the next person where the one use it, na person where na pikin where they trust them, where if you work with focus, where anything about going, they know very well say. You now na baron be picking them. Una put the one way in, one way out. Forget about all way to where you do am. You know if you ever please them that the game that way it did. Ten kobo the kunkumaisi, how the kunkumaisi no pity. Or for all way to where ten kobo do una ala ten kobo, they cover it die body. They hide them. Many don't say don't go. The same thing we free marshal. I mean free marshal no pity. According to una. What a madness. What a disgrace.
Greetings, fellow Ambazonians, my country people them. Yesterday na the most saddest day for my life for this struggle. I never ever see anything like this. The whole Ambazonian be crippled down in terms of the transport sector. Now our territory this. Now transport agency, the major transport agency, then this will be responsible for 80% for moving our people and goods and property across the border. All of them, then be closed down. Passenger them, hundreds if not in their thousands, then be stranded along the way for transportation. For morning time, passenger the way they don't collect their money, they not be able for transport. The one the way they don't hang for Buddha. Imagine a population where they live less than $1 a day. People the way they don't decide for travel, when they be stranded, wait till they go through. Some people they go talk say capo Daniel. Leave this suffering for our people them and focus on the big picture. To them, I want to tell them say La Republic they do the same. The big picture cannot be used as a reason or motive or excuse to punish our own people with zero additional value to our liberation struggle. We cannot use the bigger picture as excuse to kill our own people or punish them when it adds no pressure on the enemy and it is just counterproductive. Transportation are a very crucial and essential services which affect basic price and livelihood of our people. All because of what? Something that is fake. The person said we declare the ban, we instigate the ban against this travel agency them. Bitakola, except it don't die. We know from conversation within our soldier them, say it be baseless. It not be get the support for any other Ambazonian group. Yet the population they suffer because of this declaration where he either instigate them or they don't make them on his behalf. The other group them they be plan to put out a statement for our public where for avert this suffering due to the crippling of our transportation sector, but yet then decide not to put out those communiques. Imagine if General Sagat Gabonese if he can't talk for us, I say make transportation then go back, me no man no fear. Imagine if the ADF, they can't talk. Imagine if the Marine Forces of Bambalang, if all the various Ambazonians, they can't stand up for talk. Imagine if all our activists, them, all those who they claim that they represent the interests of our people, they be think about the consequences for a shutdown of our transportation sector and the impact for our livelihood of our people. If they be consider that one, therefore no say that their duty to our people, their livelihood, for come out outside and talk semi-outing, it be normal. I decided yesterday, say, Mrs. I not go do them again. I will shoot down for back. Because when you overdo something, in the day, let's say, you don't carry the whole nation for your head. And truly, transportation, no go. Even when some soldiers then call the transportation people then for back, I don't talk with some major soldiers, they meet and call people, they encourage them, meet and come out, they no go. Do you know what damage one day of this crippling of the transportation sector does to our economy? Do you know what it does to the livelihood of our people? The young man, the Bitakola, who have been killed, all those people who were supporting the lockdown, have you heard any of them coming out? The interruption of our education system, the burning down of a community school in Menchum, have you heard anybody who claims to be a leader, commander-in-chief, president of Ambazonia, even care about that? Do you even consider what is going on in our life? We came out massively because we had enough of this regime of Yaoundé, their marginalization and all the symptoms of what we have been suffering since we joined these Cameroon people. But to be honest with you people, what we are going through today in Ground Zero is not La Republic punishing us, but they are just consequences of our own selfishness, on patriotism. It is really terrible. A whole country, a whole territory have been crippled because of a baseless ban against transportation sector. What does that tell us about this struggle? What does that tell us about the activists and the so-called leaders? Our own power now on top of ourselves. Our own challenge now on top of ourselves. The one way they claim say they love our people. Do they really love the people? Do they really care? So, Aran decides I'm not going to champion any solution for this very problem where they go on for Ground Zero with our transport sector. Aran do my own work for background. All the transportation agency, they don't sign, say they don't commit, say they go put their motor them for road. That motor then they never come up because La Republic says that for background, it is glad. It say, "Una stop the motor. Una stop them. Me man, you know, come out." They go drink their own medicine. It don't always be now the strategy for the enemy, for feed we back with our own medicine. But are we so stupid to drink that medicine? Like it or not, these things are not further mathematics. These are common sense. Each time we allow hoodlums, people with no political calculation, to force down the truth to our people, things that are baseless, nonsensical, you only have consequences like this. It is predictable. You don't need to complete your degree in political science to be able to predict such collective behavior. But our collective behavior, collective reaction have shown a huge lacking in standing on certain principles that are fundamental for any people to succeed in a liberation war like the one we are facing. We really need to gauge ourselves, gauge the education, gauge our own collective effort. Every Ambazonian who have been outspoken and have called for this war and advocated for this struggle like an activist or a group must really think their engagement with our population and see how they can really help. Are they really doing the right thing to just go along with things? Are they really in the right path? Is this the way we can win? It's very important because you don't get into a fight and you don't think about the possibility of winning or losing. If you think that what you are doing is not right, is not working, how can you change what you are doing? You cannot do the same thing and expect different results. That is called madness. At the send out this message, make it be a wake up for all man for we. Make we ready should say we Anglophones, we Ambazonians, what have we become? What is really going on? What can we do? How can we become better? How can we win? Can we really win? Let this be a wake-up call. Have partisanship, group occultism cripple us. We cannot think again for ourselves, where we speak only to ourselves. We want to impress only ourselves and our group, and think that somehow it will help or benefit our people. Let's think about this thing. Let's think this through. God bless you all.
But we don't observe. So some civilians, they did take this our war of independence as a joke. They did take them as a joke. We not go hesitate for kill any civilian. Make una help we for one una female picking them. For say anyone who will catch her, we go cut in 2 points in them. We go cut in Banga. We send he go for hell. nakedness. Because we're not going to spare anyone.
Today, the 17th of September, 2022, 2023, me and Focus are sending information for all the civilians, all the civilians as a whole. May they leave this love estate. We, the expendable family, will not go keep any nonsense. So, this one we can do today, not just a sample. Me and Focus, we need to talk, we not do them. And we, the expendable family, will they have to protect the civilians. May any civilians where in life, may in left this camp. From today, Sunday, that they talk, the 17th. I give the ending of this month, this September, I made a left this camp. This camp, I don't want my Umbara, me and this military. I don't say, Pamona, go on, start talk. Yes, so I beg all my people, all the people that from Ambazona land, when I respect this order. Any man will of the estates, may respect the order, we free myself focus to them. I beg, no go talk plenty.
I need Papa or Mommy will go send it to give them for police school. If anything happen with he or her, we could not put we for blame. We could not put blame for we head.
Listen, bitter caller, it shows how stupid you are. You bitter caller, you are a AMF soldier. Your papa will born you for inside this struggle. Now, so funcha, where it work now for La Republic. It doesn't take your own bribe. It don't go talk say it campaign now for one Cameroon. Leave that one aside. Independence in Amazonia is not restoration because we have never had our sovereignty in our hands. Amazonia have never exercised our sovereign power, so we have never been independent. General Bitakola, this is wasting time. I'm wasting my precious time to address you. But listen to me and open your ear very well. If you have any wax in your ear, remove it and listen to me. You are an idiot. You are stupid. Clean your ear very well. Get common sense and logic. It's not in our nature to allow idiots or people who lack common sense and logic to use intimidation, insult, and threat to silence critics. You are an idiot. You are stupid. When we put law and policy and we take action that targets our people illegally, unnecessarily, there will be a backlash. It is just a matter of time. Imagine all those children in Munya that were put on the ground to sit on the ground, running away, most of them abandoning their school bags because they don't want to be seen as children coming from school. Imagine the 4 vehicles, civilian vehicles that were burnt. 2 drivers who were the sole provider of bread in their family. They were burnt alive. Ambazonian own soldiers burning their own community people alive for violating a lockdown. The same group, remember that the ADF of Ayabacho and all those who are following him spend their time together with me, Capo Daniel, to educate our people that when soldiers, they do excessive, it destroys the struggle. We suffer so much to stop the killing of our people that used to come from a Ekok border into Bamenda. Because of lockdown, they were being shot, vehicles were being shot, civilians were being killed. It transformed many drivers on that highway road to start providing information to the Cameroon military that led to the killing of many of our soldiers in Gozang, in Bali. We criticized General Lucifer, called his name from generation to generation for the people he was shooting on their legs because they violate Ghost Town. The Amazonian Governing Council and all their talking heads were saying that Sako is working for La Republic. That is why soldiers of the ARF, they are doing this excessive, killing our own people. So after you have spent 2 years to articulate something that is reasonable, today you are doing the same thing, and then you expect that we should just come around and saying what you are doing is right now. So things are right not because it is right or wrong, but because of who is doing it. When it was Sako doing it, it was wrong. Today you think it is going to be right because you are doing it. And now the hypocrisy this way, it led we make we spoil this struggle. And one of those talking heads, now pastor, this one way they were South Africa, they call it Pastor Assange, Reverend Pastor Assange. He really get church where every Sunday he go sit down for they pray for people them. Fellow Ambazonians, they fall back for the attack, for the lockdown, it don't be very swift. the Japan government will be done withhold a plan of $6 million to support La République du Cameroon reconstruction plan, and it be issue $3 million after the Canadian talks. It don't go ahead now for issue another money for support reconstruction for inside Cameroon, and this one will be seen as a direct response to the lockdown or the atmosphere where it go on in Ambazonia. Will be done the lobby within the corridors of diplomacy for make sure say make Cameroon not get this money. Unfortunately, the Japanese government it don't issue this money. It will be in a huge support for sustain the Cameroon economy. The Japanese government it don't provide close to $2 million with the objective for sustain and address recovery of self-reliance by affected population in Ambazonia, and that will be capable to sustaining food needs up to 2025. These are some of the unintended consequences where people then way they not be engaged in diplomacy when you allow a struggle may be dominated by such ill developed policy. You will get this ramification and very big blowback due to the nonsensical roadblock where it happened for inside Kumba, where two civilians, they were in a passenger, they were inside motor, they will be burnt alive. The Catholic Church, their Boya diocese, it has sent out a very powerful diplomatic letter for the international community where it addressed them, say, inadmissible. The attack against civilians, they were Kumba, then describe them as inadmissible. The Catholic Church, it quote say, the attack and the roadblock, it will be set up for near St. Andrew, for Munya parishes. And the students, the way we be affected, mainly primary school picking the way they become up for inside Catholic school premises, them they will be affected. According to the report, the Catholic Church it talks say car they will be stopped when the soldier, Ambazonian soldier, they be set up roadblock. 2 passengers they will be shot point blank where they will be unarmed, and their dead body them they will be set on fire. A total of 4 civilians them be dead according to this Catholic report where it be signed by Michel Miabesiu Bibi, where na be the head for the Boya diocese for the Catholic Church. The Catholic Church he also Adam say the attack it will start very early for morning time when they be just ring bear for church, and it will affect also their church premises, and they will use all these type of way them for describe what did happen for our country, and this type of document that it be informative for the international community. Then describe the attack as this barbaric act. I quote, this barbaric act is inadmissible, and we vehemently condemn this inhumane performance which caused the death of innocent civilians. No one has the right to take away the life of another, no matter the circumstances. I want to make our people them understand the type of blow where that action it done take for our country. Why some few hardliners they focus for celebrate the death of innocent civilians. I don't understand, my fellow country people, but this is what we must overcome. We don't spend time for educate and fight for our people their right. Sometimes our people they be clouded with the things in a group issue. No, that because a person there for one group you need to condemn something, you go for another group you need to condemn them. No, we don't be consistent on this principle. Say for fight for our people their freedom, now for fight against excesses. Because when the world it go to see say Ambazonian the key innocent civilian, it go to repel, it go to change their heart, me they no support we. We don't do them all our life. The egg of sea be done they even pride itself at one time saying that them be the vanguard of our liberation struggle. We mean say that they protect the image for our liberation struggle. It be very disheartening. Say people then why I don't work together with them for this struggle like brothers and sisters them. I see them they celebrate the killing of innocent civilian them by our forces. The same people the way they be join me, may will fight for stop the killing of civilian them where they be the come up for a cock. The one come for Bamenda during lock time for Sakoi time. Will be the cry the death for those people them. Will be know the impact we get them for the families of those who then be left behind, and the quarter and the community of the victim them of such excess use of force. Today, we they see how we Ambazonian they will be. If we yourself will feel the condone the killing of unarmed civilian, the burning alive of our own people, how can we then turn and tell the world that we need justice for people like Mrs. Ngochie with them born for Mejang for Insa come. How can we destroy our own case in this manner? And yet, some of us are celebrating and like we don't know. But we cannot pretend that we don't know. We know the truth because at one point it was apparent to us, but we are blinded by group loyalty, partisanship have clouded our judgment, and we have lost our way because of this type of mentality. It don't be over 3 years, we don't fight for sure the war, say, Ambazonia, they fight now for education. We need to fight now for stop education for our people then. We don't fight this fight today. Last year, after the Toronto declaration will be fixed, we don't already establish and where this year we will show the war. Say indeed Ambazonia then stand for education. We will change that narrative. But just from nowhere, this door boy, bitter collar, it can't stand. People then will be like the egg of sea people then will be no say La Republic they manipulate this boy. Today, I have chose because of desperation for get endorsement for the soldier them, it don't go join them. It be very, very sad to see how our struggle it is lost irrelevant and it is lost to attract the type of support we for get them internationally.